Hello again, welcome to our channel. Thank you for joining us. This afternoon we're thinking about the planting of fruit trees. It's February here in the UK, it's cold, it's windy, before long I think it's going to be wet as well. But we're going to try to make a short video. One of the great pleasures of having a growing area is being able to go out there and to pick some fruit, some fresh fruit of your own. Apples, pears, plums, fruits such as that. Some people think that you need a really large growing area in order to be able to grow some fruit trees. Actually, that's not true. You can grow some fruit trees, you can have a small orchard in quite a small space. So what we're thinking about this afternoon is creating an orchard in quite a limited space. Later on we're going to be thinking about larger orchards as well, but for the moment we're thinking about an orchard in a small limited space and how you can create such an orchard. If you're going to grow an orchard in a small space, then you probably need to use cordon fruit trees. Cordon fruit trees are trained and pruned to grow in a column rather than growing out laterally. So you don't want branches going out a long distance laterally. You train, prune them to actually grow in a column. And that way you can grow them in quite a small space. You can actually grow trees quite close together. Here we've actually started to establish our little fruit bed, our fruit garden, our little mini orchard where we're going to be putting some cordon fruit trees. This space here, as you can see, is quite small. But it is possible to grow several trees in a space as small as this. And I'm going to just show you exactly what we've done to prepare for the planting of our trees. So we decided to begin with that we're going to have a little mini orchard in this sort of space. This was the location where we decided that we were going to have it. And we then decided how we were going to actually plan our site. We decided to begin with to put a metal peg into the middle of our site, and we then attached a string with an old screwdriver on the end, and we went around marking out the border, the circumference of where we were going to have our little mini orchard. We marked that out around the outside, and we then used a spade to dig around the outside to actually make a channel to mark it out correctly. So we got our nice circle to begin, the perimeter of our little orchard. We then decided about where we were going to plant our trees. We got a number of these saucers, just simple plastic saucers, and we spread them about to try to decide how many trees we were going to have and where we were going to put them. We got 6 saucers because we decided we were going to have 6 trees. We put them about, we did some measuring as well, and in the end we decided upon the location of where we were going to put our trees. What we simply did was we marked around the 6 saucers. We put our saucers down, we marked around them, and that was where we were going to put our holes, where we were going to dig our holes. So we then started to dig our holes. Now with these cordon trees, they're quite small trees. They're not going to grow more than about 6 or 8 feet tall. They're going to be in a column, and so you don't need huge holes. But even so, we were going to go down about 18 inches into the ground at least, and quite a good circumference as well, to get a nice hole. You know already from what we've done previously that our ground, our soil underneath is not very good. We've got lots of what we refer to as marl down underneath. This is very, very hard. So the digging out process was quite difficult. But in the end, we managed to get down over 18 inches in each one of these holes. We had to use the fork quite a lot to really get down into the soil. We used a spade, shovel, various other tools as well to really get down there, to dig out and to loosen up the soil. So we got our 6 holes, 18 inches plus deep, a nice circumference. If we were going to plant large trees, then I'd want to dig an even bigger hole than this. But for the limited sort of cordon trees that we're going to be planting, I think this will do. So the soil then, down in there, as I said, we've dug it out and we've loosened the soil up in the bottom and around the sides as well to give the roots a good chance to actually grow and to establish. What we would do then, before we actually plant the trees, is we're going to add some good soil in there. In the wheelbarrow here, we've got a nice mixture of really good homegrown compost, mixed in with some topsoil, also mixed in with an organic fertiliser, blood, fish and bone, things like that. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting some into the bottom of each of the holes to enrich the soil, to make sure that the tree can become established. We'll probably put about that much, I would have thought, into the bottom of each hole. And obviously we're going to be putting more of this compost around the outside of each of the trees, as well around the outside of the hole too. So we've removed the old soil, we've loosened it up really, really well. We're putting in a really nice mixture, a rich mixture of compost and soil and organic fertiliser to give the trees a really good chance to establish. So the 6 holes for the 6 cordon trees. We've put down this fabric. We do this before we plant the trees as well. This is the fabric of the little orchard, the perimeter of the orchard. This fabric will prevent the grass and weeds and various things from growing up. And what we're eventually going to do is we will put a decorative bark on top of the fabric. We'll have some edging around the outside to tighten it up, and then we'll put the bark down after we've planted the trees. The trees that we're going to plant, as I said, are going to be cordon trees. We're going to limit their height to between 6 and 8 feet. We're going to trim them, we're going to prune them, the laterals. The laterals will only probably be allowed to be something like 3, 4, 5 inches. They won't go out very far. I think you normally prune them probably in the summer, I think, the laterals as they come out. And the fruit will be borne on those laterals. So we'll really keep the tree compact. We won't let it go out very far. We'll limit it to about 6 to 8 feet in height. Obviously, when we plant the trees, we will stake them to begin with to give them some good support, and hopefully we'll then get some nice trees growing to show you. We've got 6 trees that we're going to put in. It's going to be a mixture of apples, plums, pears and cherry trees. The trees haven't yet arrived. Our next video will be actually planting the trees. This video is about all the preparation that we've done. The next time we'll actually be planting the trees. We'll show you how we get on then. This is supposed to show that even in quite a limited growing area, it is possible to establish a productive and enjoyable mini orchard using the cordon trees. Thank you.